The image you are seeing is Earth, and the spacecraft appeared in this photo was taken by a camera. After looping around, the spacecraft began its journey. But do you know what the most are about to face actually is? It is not whether the service module nor whether the deceleration pair, but 4 hellish on the way on the Artemis 2 mission. 4 astronauts have flown. They flew around the far and captured this deeply of crescent Earth. At that, spacecraft was more than 400 farther than the old Apollo 13, and now they are on their way back. The return will plunge at 40,000 equal to 32 sound. The air in front simply cannot. It is compressed, right, and instantly turns into plasma. This drives the temperature up to more than degrees Celsius. Do you know what that number? Steel melts at only 1 T300 and titanium alloy at 1,600. Without a protect, this spacecraft would turn into a puddle of. Please hit the rice bowl button. But what is even? This plasma layer will completely block all radios. For a full, the screens at Mission Houston will sink into deadly silence. No data, no images, no sound. The ground has absolutely nor is there any backup. The 4 people can rely only on them, and their only line of defense is a that had problems in the Just think about it. If you were one of them, would you? Let me know in the comments. Now let us talk about this heat. It has a diameter. It is the largest ablative ever used on a crewed spacecraft. Why is it called? To put it bluntly, it sacrifices the outer material. Extreme heat peels away and is swept off, carrying heat. It burns away, falls away, to protect the and the 4 living people inside. This was already used in the Apollo. There were 320,000, and every one of them was packed with material. Bit by bit, every mission was a complete success. So when NASA built Orion, they considered the old, but they improved the They no longer, but switched to 186 assembled together like saving both time and labor. But no one expected that the uncrewed spacecraft Artemis flew around the moon. The mission seemed perfectly until the engineers removed the heat, cold sweat immediately. There were more than 100 The material had not ablated evenly, in large, jagged, irregular chunks. In some places, even those were areas that should never, to a temperature of 2,700. Why did this? Because Orion uses a technique called skip reentry. It dives into the atmosphere first and uses drag, then bounces back out, like skipping a stone, gliding for a while before finally. This technique did not exist in theory. It helps extend and makes the landing point, but in actual flight, during the temperature causing the gas generate to be the pressure keeps building. Then during this, it suddenly causing large pieces of insulation. NASA itself had to admit that this peeling was completely. It is like a bulletproof. You never know where the next will. But strange, despite that, the capsule always stayed above, which means the insulate, the problem, ability, because no one knew way through at some point or not. By normal, if a heat shield design is unreasonable, but NASA did. Instead, heat shield had long since been complete with the crew module. If they were, Artemis had already been delayed to 2020 and then pushed again to 2020. If it were delayed any further, no. So NASA made a bold decision. Do not fix the hardware, fix the flight. They canceled the skip reentry and switched to a steeper, more direct. The spacecraft will dive, giving the gas inside no chance. But what is the G-forces, the heating point, the structural load, and the choice of splashdown zones? NASA ran simulations for even worse material loss. The conclusion was that, but the risk assessment, optimistic, of crew loss was around 1 in 50, and in harsh, it could be even high. Meanwhile, the acceptable risk threshold set was 1 in 75. That means this mission has exceeded the official safety standard. Did those 4 astronauts know? Of course they did. Commander J. former fighter pilot Victor Rover, a seasoned veteran from the station Christina Koch, who holds the record for at 328, and Jeremy Hunt, a former Canadian fighter, the only one who had never been to space. Each of them had seen the damage photos from Artemis, read the and reviewed the revised reentry. They understood exactly what those, but they still stepped in. In their hearts, they knew how great the risk, especially during the final, when the spacecraft touches at an altitude of 120. At that point, only a passenger hurtling alone. Computer will adjust the points straight Within night, the temperature outside will exceed. A plasma sheath will complete radio signals, and the screens in Houston will become nothing but. During the 4 people inside the capsule, outside the window, feel the G-forces pressing their bodies and hear the roar of air being torn apart. They can do nothing at all. The only thing is place all their trust. Flawed heat shield.